I'd say it makes me think about like all the police brutality that's happening, violence, all the protests, African Americans getting killed a lot more since this pandemic.
To me, it really feels like an opportunity for young Black people to be heard.
I feel like we as Black people have to fight for people to hear us or to see us, being mistreated by systematic oppression.
A lot of people that have died from police brutality and more, we don't know who they are. Like, a lot of names are unsaid.
I need to protect him. I need to protect him from, basically everything that's going on in society.
It is scary because obviously I don't want my children to be hurt. At the same time, it is empowering because they are seeing that people are gathering and they're coming together to fight for what they believe in.
This movement has been going on for forever and ever, and we really need to see changes in school and in the outside world.
I went to a school that were bused about 30 minutes away from our neighborhood. It was predominantly whites and Asians, and I just kind of felt left out.
I went to a Catholic private, mostly white school, and now I'm in a public school. And so I was able to see how when my culture is underrepresented, it affects the perception of us as a whole to all the kids over there.
Our cultural identity was never really brought up until I was probably about the 10th grade.
With our 18-year-old, when she was in daycare, we put her in a place we thought was going to be the best school. Even being young parents, we didn't understand the impact our education had on us.
I don't think they want to talk about it because I feel like they might offend me or other Black students that are in the school.
I do believe my cultural identity is included at Washington Prep because, first, Washington Prep is a very diverse school with lots of Black and brown students.
Our history teachers were in general African American teachers, so they made sure that we knew who we were, where we came from, our struggles, and etc. Especially being Black, our African American teachers, they wanted to make sure that standard was given out to a high extent.
We have a lot of celebrations, and we play that culture's music, and we dance to that music, and we celebrate, and we learn some history behind the culture through videos and stuff. So we're a diverse community, but we all celebrate each other.
Like, it's one thing to teach something, but it's another thing to be a part of something and feel like you're a part of something.
Usually we just learn about the same thing over and over again, and that's usually what a white person discovered or a white person made or what a white person did.
I had an African American history teacher, and she went more in depth about our culture and who we are as people. And I believe without her, I've honestly, throughout my school year, I probably wouldn't really know too much about African American history.
I know so many kids my age who don't even know who John Lewis was when he died. I've met a kid who doesn't even know who Malcolm X is. That's not their fault. That's the education system failing them.
My teacher, Miss Ayadeli, she was really big on Black achievements or just anything in that topic. She would make us do assignments based on certain people.
There needs to be a space for Black students and for their peers to learn about that history. And I feel like that would really lead to student empowerment.
It's like African Americans hear it and students hear it, they'll feel that they can do anything that any white male or female or just any person can do.
We need to spend more time focusing on what Black people did for this country rather than what this country did to Black people. I feel like teachers need to emphasize that when you are in a classroom environment, everybody's equal. Nobody starts ahead of anybody. Nobody starts behind anybody. Everybody has an equal opportunity to learn.
We wanted a daycare that represented our lives. I didn't want my 2-year-old to be sitting in a chair all day. I wanted him to have the opportunity to interact with his environment.
I feel like we all need to consider being put in somebody else's shoes, because at the end of the day, you never know what nobody is really feeling because you're not them.
Growing up being African American, like, it's so many things that we face in society, and that could tear down the soul of a young African American child.
When a child displays a negative behavior, there is always a reason why that child is displaying that negative behavior. It's not that the child is bad, it's because the child may be going through something that's traumatic and doesn't know how to express his or herself.
Just because they might not seem like they want to learn doesn't mean they don't want to go to college.
We are a family, we are one. Let's start acting like it. Like, let's, instead of breaking down people's self-esteem, let's build it up.
I know you have a lot of students in your school and you might be stressed out about that, but just take that little time and maybe talk to that student on the private level and to show them that you're there with them, because they actually might need that. And that's what a lot of successful people, when they go through fairs, that's exactly what they had that pushed them through the hard part.
I definitely think race is important, but I also think education is more important, because a person can snatch anything from you, but they can never take your education.
And when you're a kid, you're developing the way you see the world. And if we could stop, those type of thoughts when you're generalizing, a whole race when you're younger, I feel like the future will be so much better.